We are at halftime of what has been an absolutely wild college football playoff semifinal. I mean, if you thought you knew how this game was going to go, well, you might want to think again. The first half has been a total roller coaster. All right, let's just dive right into this thing. We've got the Ole Miss Rebels and the Miami Hurricanes squaring off, and we are just 30 minutes away from finding out which of these incredible underdog teams gets a shot at the whole thing. And let's be real here, almost nobody expected either of these teams to even be in this game. I mean, look at this. Ole Miss shocked pretty much the entire country by taking down Georgia. And Miami, they had to climb an even steeper mountain to get here. We are watching a true battle of giant killers. So let's rewind to the beginning, the opening quarter. And forget about a high-flying shootout. This was a straight-up street fight. Just incredible defensive intensity right from the jump. Yeah, that first quarter was a classic, gritty, defensive struggle. It was absolutely not the offensive fireworks display that a lot of us were expecting. Both offenses just could not find any rhythm at all. And this chart basically tells you the whole story of that first quarter, doesn't it? 3 of the first 4 drives for both teams, combined, ended in punts. The offenses just couldn't get anything going. The defenses were flying all over the field, making every single yard a battle. The Miami defense especially was just playing on another level. Get this, they held Ole Miss to -9 rushing yards and only 8 passing yards. And this is the 3rd straight playoff game where they've completely shut out their opponent in the first quarter. That is just absolute domination. So, after 15 minutes of some really tough, grinding football, the only points on the board came from a little 38-yard Miami field goal. At that point, it really felt like we were in for a low-scoring, nail-biting kind of game. But then, the second quarter happened. Oh boy. Just when it looked like we were settling in for a defensive slugfest, the whole game just completely flipped on its head. The offenses finally decided to wake up, and they did it in a huge way. On the very first snap of the second quarter, the Ole Miss running back, Kewan Lacy, must have decided he'd had enough of this defense-first nonsense. He took the handoff and just exploded. 73 yards, a massive touchdown run, his 24th of the season, and just like that, boom, the Rebels grab a 7-3 lead. The blocking was perfect, and Lacy, he was just gone. But you know, Miami, they showed that fight that got them here. They had an answer right away. No panic on that sideline at all. They just got the ball back and went right back to work on their very next drive. After a really tough, methodical drive, their quarterback Carson Beck just launched an absolute rocket, a 52-yard touchdown that put Miami right back on top. And they didn't stop there either. They followed that up with another score to stretch their lead to 17-10. So, late in the half, the Ole Miss defense came up huge, forcing a punt. But that left their offense with only 46 seconds on the clock and a long, long way to go. But their quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, just masterfully led them down the field, right into field goal range with just seconds to spare. And what happened next? Honestly, it was just unbelievable. With the clock ticking down, the Rebels sent out their kicker, Lucas Carnero, for what looked like a completely impossible kick. From 58 yards out. Can you believe that? He absolutely drilled it as time expired. That's a kick that would be amazing for a seasoned NFL pro, let alone a college kid in a playoff game. Wow, what a way to end the half. So that incredible kick brings us to halftime, with this whole game just hanging on a razor's edge. It's perfectly poised. So let's take a second and break down where we stand right now. So the Hurricanes are holding on, but it's a slim 4-point lead after a completely wild first 30 minutes of football. This is anybody's game heading into that second half. But when you dig into the stats a little bit, you start to see the real story of this game. Look at this. Miami has just dominated the time of possession. They've had the ball for over 22 minutes, and still, they only have a 4-point lead. That tells you everything. Ole Miss is making the absolute most of every single second they have the football. Now, the biggest question mark for Ole Miss heading into the locker room is the health of their star running back. Lacy hasn't played a single snap since that huge touchdown run. If he can't go in the second half, that is a massive, massive blow to their offense. And here's why that's so important. The Rebels are 0 for 5 on third down. That is a total drive killer. They have to find a way to move the chains in the second half, if for no other reason than to just give their defense a breather and keep that powerful Miami offense on the sideline. And on the other side for Miami, it's all about discipline, right? They've been flagged 4 times. and those are self-inflicted wounds. Those mistakes have kept Ole Miss in a game that, based on the clock, Miami has pretty much controlled. They just can't afford to keep giving away free yards like that.
And this is where it gets really interesting. History tells us that Ole Miss is super comfortable playing from behind. They've been down at the half in both of their playoff games so far, and they stormed back to win them both. Meanwhile, Miami almost never loses when they have a halftime lead. So, something's got to give here.
So here we are. It all comes down to the next 30 minutes of football. One of these incredible underdog stories is going to the national championship. The only question is, who blinks first?